Hey, how are you? In this video, I'm going to talk about starting a business. This is something I am super passionate about. I've started my own agency when I was 21 years old, straight out of college. I'm now 27 years old, been doing it almost for 6 years, and I have some really good tips that could help you when starting up your own business to help expedite and avoid the same mistakes that I've made along this journey. So let's dive straight into it. So question number one, what do I need to start my own business? First and foremost, you need to get yourself a business license. You need to go to a place like LegalZoom.com and get yourself a business license for the type of business that you're trying to start. I started an insurance agency, so I went to them, I called them, I said, I need to start an insurance agency. Can you get me the license? Business license, depending on whether you're trying to start an entity like an LLC or a corporation, those are separate things. I would definitely talk to an attorney or somebody at LegalZoom who can guide you on the benefits, pros, and cons of that. Another thing you're going to need is a business plan. You want to make sure that you have a plan for how you're going to market to customers, acquire customers, what services you're going to provide, how you're going to provide them, how much money you need, how much you're going to reinvest, and et cetera, on the scaling of the business. Because obviously the goal here isn't to run a bad business. We want to run a good business. You want to have a plan before you go and launch and do your own thing. And ultimately, the answer to this question, what do I need to start my business? You need to get some confidence and you need to take the leap to do it. Everybody talks about how they want to start this business. I've heard friends, family, people like around me, acquaintances, talk about how they're one day they're going to do something. There's no one day, there's no tomorrow, there's no next week, there's no next month. It's today. If you're really about it, you got to go and do it. Start the business and launch it. Just get it going. The next question I hear commonly is, how much money do I need to start a business? Very, very good question, because you need to make sure you have the right amount of capital to launch and take off, because the business needs oxygen, and cash and money injected into the business is the oxygen that you need so that it really kind of fires off and takes off. So it depends on the type of business that you're trying to start. An insurance agency, I started my business with about $5,000 to $10,000, which was about 3 months roughly worth of expenses. That's my suggestion. It really does depend. There's some businesses that need very, very little capital, like SaaS companies. You basically need, a couple $100 to get that thing going and having the right SaaS software. And then there's businesses that need a ton more capital to start, like a restaurant. You need a location, rent, you need products. So if you're selling something that doesn't necessarily have a physical product, you need a lot less capital, and insurance is one of those things. So really depends. There's a wide spectrum, but my recommendation is to start the business lean, keep your expenses very, very low early on so that you can get the momentum and reinvest into the business and scale to the next level. The next question is, can I start a small business alone? Yes, you can. You can definitely start a small business alone with no partners. You don't need anyone. And actually, that's typically what I like to lean towards, is starting it on my own. I think when people get involved, like partners, it starts to complicate things. There's opinions about how to do things and et cetera, et cetera. I usually like to really take control. If you're a true entrepreneur, you probably want to have that full control anyway. So starting it alone is definitely doable, and just make sure you have the right amount of capital saved up, a marketing and business plan, and the execution skills already in your tool belt. By that I mean the knowledge in that industry, enough knowledge in that industry to really go and execute and do a good job running that business. The next question I get is, can I start a business from home? Yes, you can definitely start a business from home. A home office is a great way to keep expenses low early on. And like I said, it is very important to keep expenses minimal when you're first starting your business, because when you start to spread your money into things that are not ROI, it slows down the momentum of the scaling process. So keeping it low and starting to bring money in to pump back into the business starts to get the trajectory of the whole thing. And that goes on and on as the business continues to grow. So the longer you can keep your expenses low, starting a business from your house or your home, as long as it's not really needed to be a physical location, is a great way to save some extra money every month. Are taxes hard to do as a business owner? Taxes are a little complicated for me as a business owner. I don't love taxes. I actually, every single year, I always get somewhat confused, especially because I have an LLC S Corp, where we do business taxes for the LLC S Corp, and then I have to do my personal individual taxes for the money I pay myself and I personally make on my income. So are they hard to do? They are not very hard to do if you're pretty familiar with corporate tax forms and how to file a corporate tax form. So if you have some experience with that at all, it's not that hard to do. But if you don't at all, I highly recommend you talk to a CPA and get the proper guidance to do your taxes right. The next question is, how many years can a business take a loss? That's an excellent question. I've heard this from CPAs, and I don't know if this is correct, so please, some CPAs comment in the comments below that you can only take a loss for about 3 years. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Taxes and that is not necessarily my thing here, but I do think there are some IRS regulations around how long you can take a loss in the business. You need to show some profitability at a certain point, and I definitely recommend talking to a CPA about that. That's pretty much all I got for you about businesses and my answers to some of these common questions. I hope they do help you. The last one obviously was not helpful because I'm not sure myself, so definitely check those things out with a CPA when it comes to taxes. That's all I got. I hope that does help, and if it does, please subscribe, give us a like. Really appreciate you, and check me out on Instagram, Chris the Insurance Guy, and chriscostantini.com if you want some personal one-on-one consulting. We'll see you guys at the top. Peace.